we can't tell what the motive is with Charlie Kirk. Of course we know that. We knew the motive right away. This couldn't be any more clear. This is not hard. So Jimmy Kimmel is on ABC. He's the late night host there. And I find him to be the most odious of those late night hosts. Colbert, it is a toss-up. A Colbert show got canceled, so at least there's some justice there. You have to hear, now Kimmel still has, well, I don't know if he still has even a couple million people that watch the show. 1 million and change? I don't know.
Good question. I don't know
I'm
what
not
the
sure what
late
the numbers
night
are.
viewership is.
It's nowhere near what it used to be.
Nowhere near Gutfeld.
Nowhere near Gutfeld. So here's Jimmy Kimmel saying, well, just listen to what he says. Play 20.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
As one of them, that is a despicable and monumentally stupid and false thing to say. And I don't know what's worse. He's intelligent enough to recognize the falsehood and he peddles it to his audience anyway, Clay, or this is somebody who people are told to laugh and clap for as part of some corporate media entity, and he is honestly operating with about an 85 IQ.
This is where I think it's challenging. There was a calculated attempt on the left to try to make it appear that this person who killed Charlie Kirk was of the right. And so if you are someone who follows leftist media, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, basically anything but Fox News, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, obviously this program, you do not get a full picture of what the news is. Now, we played you audio from CNN and MSNBC. There is an intentional desire to try to avoid recognizing what motivated this attack. And I hope that in the wake of the announced indictment, which makes that argument virtually impossible to make anymore, I just wonder how much of an experience of the whole world you have. You and I, when you saw Charlie Kirk first, we were live on the air last week, 1 week ago today, about this time, I could see in your face something really bad happen. I didn't know because we're constantly on our phones hitting refresh, making sure that we're on top of the latest news for all of you. I knew something was bad. I didn't know what it was. But you and I off air immediately knew this is someone killing Charlie Kirk because they hate him.
Of course.
It's not complicated. You and I experience a wide variety of media. I think we understand the full scope of arguments that people in media might make. I don't think very many people on the left do. I think they marinate in blue sky. I think they're on Reddit forums. I don't think they see the arguments that people like you and me make. And this is one reason I wanted to do the Stephen A. thing, because I think all the time about how do we get better arguments. Charlie Kirk certainly thought about this a lot. How do we get arguments in front of persuadable voters, people who are willing to change their minds?
The Stephen A. discussion that happened showed that he has some familiarity with and even some agreement with right-wing arguments.
Yes.
Which is heartening. It's encouraging because a lot of what you see are people on the left who have you and I could do this show as a leftist, and I kind of want to, like for April Fool's one day, just come on, although I think people wouldn't necessarily.
Rush did this. Producer Ali talked about back in the day. We were talking about this off air. He pretended to be a big Bill Clinton supporter for what, Ali, like 20 minutes, or was it a full hour? She's going to look up how long it went on. People lost their minds.
You guys have to find that. You know what? Refresh my memory. Pull that clip for us if you can, and I want to listen to it for my own.
You and I could sit in and do the Rachel Maddow show.
Oh my gosh, Clay! I could sit here with some big framed glasses and a man bun and a perhaps futurist female T-shirt and some sandals with socks, and I could sit here and talk about the patriarchy and white supremacy, and I could make all of their arguments. In fact, you and I could sit here in advance. As long as we knew the topic, in advance of like a Anderson Cooper or Maddow or any of those names doing a show, and we could say what their position is going to be on.
Correct.
Like we knew they were going to do both sidesism as soon as they finish. So we have familiarity with the other side. One of the problems that is so clear on the left, and by the way, there's data that shows this as well. They have no idea what we really think. They have no idea what we really say. And we meaning Clay and me, but also more broadly the right. They just don't get it. And I think they deep down they don't want to get it. They prefer to be lied to. And that's what you see going on right now. And that's why Kimmel told that lie. By the way, what you're telling me is that Jimmy Kimmel is an incurious moron. Like there's only two options here. He's an incurious moron or he's just a vile propagandist. So I'll accept that he's an incurious moron. But some of these things, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, it's so clear what the motivation was the second that it happened because he's Charlie Kirk. This reminds me of when we were all supposed to think that the COVID virus appearing next to the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China was a coincidence where they were playing around with COVID viruses. It's a big planet, everybody. You know, the virus didn't appear suddenly in Mozambique or Bulgaria. It appeared next to the facility where they were doing this first, right? We were to believe that was a coincidence. Now they're going to tell us that we can't tell what the motive is with Charlie Kirk. Of course we know that. We knew the motive right away. This couldn't be any more clear. This is not hard. But they would rather lie to themselves and lie to each other than handle the reality, which is that the left has created a toxic political ideology that has infected the mainstream of their party, top down, and they don't want to clean house. And I think that this is, like I said, a clarifying moment for the country about who stands for what.
And as long as they don't acknowledge this inside of their party, the sad and scary and unfortunate reality is, and this is what we've been saying for some time, there's going to be more Charlie Kirks because these people think they're heroes and they're not being shouted down. Now, we haven't seen this.
Look, I don't want to interrupt you, but look at the Luigi situation.
Yeah.
This guy just murdered a guy. Do you know what happened at United Healthcare in response to this? Nothing except for corporate security needs went up. They've got a CEO who's still running this business. And this also goes to the babyishness, the crybabyishness of all these socialists and leftists, Clay. They're all, it should be free. It should be free. Why isn't everything free? Or why isn't someone else paying for my stuff? Because it doesn't work that way.
We haven't played this yet. I'm curious to hear this audio. Barack Obama evidently weighed in outside of the social media arena.
Wait, do you
for
want to
the
hold
first
this?
time.
Do you want to hold this?
No, I'm saying we'll play it here in a little bit. I'm curious to hear what he had to say. We've got the audio for you. No matter where you live, there's always the chance you become a victim of a home robbery. Stats show there are 2 home break-ins every minute on average. You want to be able to protect yourself and your family with the right self-protection tools, and you can get them from our sponsor, Saber. Saber is the #1 pepper spray brand trusted by law enforcement. In our house, we've likely got every one of these products, including Saber's pepper spray gel projectiles. They've been at this for 50 years, family-owned. Saber is spelled S-A-B-R-E. Website, saberradio.com. Their pepper gel projectile launcher, shaped like a pistol or a rifle, depending on the model, fires off a pepper gel projectile. Targeted, goes a longer distance than you might think, making it effective against an intruder. Decide today what you need to help make your home safer, non-lethal, family-owned. We've got every one of these products. You're going to love them. SaberRadio.com. That's 844-824-SAFE, 844-824-SAFE.